this morning, so we just got off the field just a little bit ago. But we had a great team win Saturday. I think anytime you can get a win, it doesn't matter how it was. Again, there's obviously a lot of good things when you watch the tape on Saturday night or Sunday morning. A lot of great things to take from it. And there's a lot of things that we need to get a lot better if we expect to continue to move on and win games in this league and win in the ACC. So, some of the things you look at when you watch the tape is, some of the positives, and we can always focus on the negatives. Is our defense made some big stops at the end when they needed to. I mean, that big sack at the end with Chase Pine and Amir Watts, getting it done. Stalkers, PBU, there's some great things there defensively that weren't so good in the first and second, but our kids stuck together and finished that off. And then offensively and special teams wise, I mean, special teams, with Kessman coming back and going 3 for 3 again, we know how special that is. And I heard yesterday that he's got 3 of the 4 longest field goals in college football right now for this season. So I thought that was pretty special on his part, and I think he will continue to get stronger. He's got to go prove he can go do it on the road. So that's the challenge this week. And then obviously that with 5 seconds to go, the biggest play of the game, that's not easy. And you guys have seen those games where the ball gets tossed all over the place. But just, the way Coach Powell and the kickoff squad executed, what we call that. I won't tell you what we call it, but the way they executed that, and we've done that before against Clemson and had a lot of success at the end of a game. So just the details of what we did there and how they're throwing. I mean, they want to throw it back and they can't throw it back. So I think our guys have really taken to that and understand what we're doing. And then offensively, again, as explosive as they've been all year. 17 explosive runs and passes, rushing for 480 yards. We're +1 in the turnover ratio. So we offensively don't turn it over, we get one. Make big plays when we need to make plays, and I think that's really what you take from the game Saturday. And we move on really quick, as fast as you're ever going to move on to a 6-2 Virginia team that is playing real well. I'll put my first vote in for Bronco Mendenhall to be Coach of the Year in the ACC. I think he's got a great shot at getting it just for what he's done. So count me in. Number one, he's a great guy. He's a great coach, and he's done a great job really turning that program around. Bryce Perkins is a guy that makes things go on offense. He's I think rushed for about 600 yards. He's thrown for 1,615 TDs. He gets it done. Zane Zandier, local product has gone down there. He's a tough dude, physical football player. Whether he starts at the Mike or they get the returner back, I guess Jordan Mack, who's been out for a couple weeks. They got Peace and Snowden on the edge. They were 3-4 defense, so they create a lot of different problems with their different stuff, and they've been, they're top 20 defense. So our offense will have to be consistent with what they did last week and try to do it again and go back to back, playing really good. And our defense got to make a step up and try to stop an explosive offense and a confident offense in that. So you guys got any questions after I gave you all that? Questions?
A lot of the attention was about the running game on Saturday, but that 2-minute drill by Kenny, is that something that could be built, his confidence going forward?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we work 2-minute a lot during camp, and like I said, it's hard to work it during the season because you're working on different stuff and trying to service each other. But we'll do a 2-minute tomorrow afternoon and just try to continue to build off of that with his confidence and what we did there. So I think it builds everybody's confidence. It builds everybody. It builds the offensive coordinator's confidence that you had success, and he say, hey, we did it, we can do it again. I think it gives everybody confidence not only in 2-minute, but in other opportunities when we got to throw the ball even on third down.
Now you guys have played a lot of nickel against the tempo teams, and Duke, I think you didn't do it until maybe the 3rd drive. What can you guys do better to stop the run in that formation? I know that's one of your biggest concerns when you go to that.
Yeah, it is, and we get into it, and then we don't really stop the run. So it's like here's what it is. It's we talked a lot today just about being consistent, and we got a lot of players that are consistent. And I told them after practice today, I said, listen, come ask me if you want to know if you're consistent. I'll tell you if you're 100% consistent. If you're 75, I'll tell you. I know exactly where every one of you guys are. I can tell you where you are in practice, where you are in the game. And if you're inconsistent in practice, you're going to be inconsistent in the game. And if you're consistent in practice, I can go name them. I won't for you or for them. Tell them who they are, but not one guy asked me. Okay, so they probably know where they are. I guess they didn't need to know, because I think. But it comes down to consistency. I don't think it came down to oh, nickel, we can't stop the run because we've proved we can stop the run in nickel, or sub personnel. So we can stop it. It's a matter of being consistent and doing your job, okay? And, when you watch the tape and looking at the negative part of it, it's guys wanting to do somebody else's job. I mean, the quarterback takes a play. You guys can go back and watch it. I mean, quarterback takes a zone play where he fakes a jet sweep, and, regardless of who's reading, he runs an inside zone and rushes for 15 yards in nickel, okay? But we got, two guys, a middle linebacker and a nose tackle, that want to go stop the jet sweep. Well, Mike linebacker and a nose tackle have no business stopping the run that's way out there. We line them up like right over the football, and you might want to take care of over the football. But when you got guys that just want to go make a play and they're hungry, and God bless them, they want to go make plays, but you got to do it within the framework of the defense. And when they go run, and then they run the same play the next play, and it's a gain of 1. And it's like, there's your consistency right there. So it's just, whoever they are, it doesn't matter. It's just a matter of being consistent. If you're consistent, you got a chance. If you're not, you're going to be like this. And depends on what you want to be. So it's not a matter of the defense, the structure. It's, sometimes it's structure. They got one play. There's really, we had one bust, in the back end where it's poor communication on a big screen pass to the tailback down the sideline, down their sideline. It's a total flat miscommunication where 10 guys are doing the right thing and one guy makes the wrong call to a corner, and then you got a big play. I mean, so there's a lot of little things that, that need to be done better and consistently.
How tough of a habit is that to break for guys to make sure they stay within that framework?
Some guys figure it out quicker than others. I mean, some guys figure it out, the quicker they figure it out, the better it is. The guys that don't figure out will see less time. It's just the nature of the beast. But unfortunately, we need too deep. You'd like to be able to rotate guys and keep them fresh, because then you end up getting into the tired mode of, well, coach, I was gassed and I couldn't do it. Well, then you get mental mistakes because of that. So, whatever it is, guys got to fix it. They can do it. It's called, laser focus, and we got to have laser focus. I don't know. We only get, so many games with them, and so we got to pick and choose when it's important to use them. So I don't, I'm not going to obviously reveal whether we're using them this weekend or not, but we'll find out. But it just depends on the matchups and what we feel like we've got. I mean, they're a little different defense with the 3-4 that's snouted in piece, hanging off the edge, doesn't make it very easy to do much. So it'll be a matchup, and every week it'll be a matchup as we go. He works with the wide receivers, sometimes the running backs, sometimes the DBs. We haven't put him at linebacker yet, but we probably put him there too.
Is there an age-old problem in college football to get kids to do like you said, do their own job? Everybody, maybe professional, it's a little different, but always a problem for college football players to focus like that.
Yeah, I mean, focus is hard. I mean, these kids lose focus, and for whatever reason. I mean, obviously Saturday was not an easy day to focus, on football. I don't think. For a lot of people, and you get out there and who knows what they're thinking about before and all that stuff. Rough day and rough week, but and that's no excuse, because one side's got focus and one side doesn't. But different guys want to make plays. They want Jerry to freaking write about him, in the newspaper and write on Twitter and look how good he did, look what he did, and they want to go make plays. And like I said, it's a good thing they want to make plays, but you got to wait for your opportunity. And you got to do your job, and that's what I think kids get anxious to. Maybe get more favorites on Twitter and liked more if they make a play. It's not always good. Coaches don't like it. Coaches don't like them when they do that.
Apparently they're getting.
I'm going to unfollow a couple guys maybe.
Anyway, I guess moving on from that, you mentioned the league's kind of a good example of this, keeping guys engaged throughout the season with that redshirt role. I mean, how tough is it to keep younger guys who maybe aren't playing much, sort of keep their head in the game this time of year when you're 8 games in?
Yeah, I mean it's not easy. It's not easy at all, and I think it gets harder every year. To be honest with you, everybody wants instant gratification. I think kids think they're entitled because of who they are to be able to be there and do that. And they've never been that guy that hasn't played much, whoever it is, whether they're getting 4 games. We have another guy come out this week, and we got another guy maybe that might play that you haven't seen before. I guarantee you they're going to see another guy that hasn't played this week as a little special. You know, you haven't seen his jersey out there at all, and you know, you guys got to figure out who it is, like Waldo. You know, so it's not easy. It really isn't, and it gets, like I said, it gets harder, you know, because they got people in their ears asking, you know, how come? It's like, it ain't easy. It's not. It's a hard thing, and you better have focus to get it done.
The league, how much of a priority is there preserving the furniture for him, or is there a situation that if he keeps doing close to what he did on Saturday, that just doesn't become, or that becomes kind of a
Yeah, I mean, I guess you maybe wait, maybe not this week, that, you know, the week after, kind of see where you are, see what you're doing. But certainly when you watch him play, and maybe he could have played since game one, you'd like to preserve it if you could. I think we got other good players that can make plays happen. And, you know, was he lucky? Is he good? I don't know. I mean, maybe he just got lucky that day. I don't know. Maybe it just set up perfectly for him, because I think, you know, some other guys can do the same thing. But you know, you'd like to preserve it, because I think I'd like to see him play, you know, 12 or 13 or 14 games next year. I'm sorry, say it again.
Kenny ran more against Duke than he has in any game this year. Was that part of the game plan from the beginning, or was that more of what Duke's defense was showing you, and will still be a bigger part of the game plan going forward?
Yeah, I think as you get nearer, you know, the end of the season, you start to think, you know, you start to do some different things. Certainly, ACC games are more important. Certainly, we don't want to get our quarterback smashed. I mean, you know, Bryce Perkins does a nice job. You know, they've done a nice job coaching that guy, rushing for 600 yards. As you watch him, he's gonna get down. He doesn't take hits, which is, you know, really smart on their part, and that's why they've been able to keep him healthy and keep him on the field, because they're a different team when he's on the field compared to when he wouldn't be on the field. And we, you know, obviously want Kenny in the game, but, you know, as you get closer to the end, you start to, you know, maybe take a little bit more risk. Obviously, he wants the ball, and sometimes it's what they're giving you, sometimes it's what we were going to take. You know, sometimes you read it, sometimes you don't. And so we'll do it, you know, all be based on a situation, based on, you know, what they're playing defensively and what we want to do offensively.
What did you feel like not having Keyshawn Camp affected some of what we were talking about, middle of the defense?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. I was going to tell you anyway, but obviously Keyshawn's out for the season, you know, I meant to mention it to you, but I get you guys ask all the questions, and thanks for bringing it up. But, you know, Keyshawn, you know, suffered an injury against Notre Dame. We're hoping he'd come through, but he wasn't able to go, so he'll probably be out for the season, I'd imagine. And that's usually the only time I'm telling you anything, Jerry. Look at it. Jerry's eyes are like so big, like he got some juice. Guy like this. You know, so, you know, that did affect it a lot. You know, he's a penetrator. He caused havoc in the backfield. That didn't help us at all. And matter of fact, you might see two new guys this week too. I said one. You might see two. That you haven't seen. Say it again.
The injury?
It's an upper body deal.
You mentioned Zandier from Thomas Jefferson, now down at UVA. How much do you guys sort of recruit him out of high school around here, and are you surprised at all by the success he's having there?
No, not really. You know, it came down to really, you know, needs. You know, we took two athletic guys like him that, you know, kind of committed before he did. We really liked him. We wanted to see him in camp, and you know, he's a good football player. I mean, you really love his toughness, and he's really smart. I mean, you can tell he's a smart football player. He's played outside. You know, he played the weak side linebacker. When Jordan went out, you know, he moved to the mic. So he's obviously really intelligent, which is sometimes something you can't tell when you recruit him. But Bronco got a great player in him, and you know, now we got to play against him for the next few years. But he's a good football player, and we did recruit him pretty heavily, obviously with, you know, with the connection over there.
Virginia kind of came in with a similar record last year. You know, what do you think?
They did? They did?
Yeah, they were 5-2 last year.
I didn't know that. Jerry, you didn't tell me that.
Sorry, you didn't ask.
So what would you say is the big difference between last year's Virginia team and this year's Virginia?
You know, they're able to run the football. The quarterback's a runner compared to last year. He was a thrower. And, you know, it's just another year that the Broncos been able to develop them. I think they believe right now. I think they're a tough football team. I mean, you know, you watch their offensive line, their defensive line, they're tough. I mean, like I said, they're stopping the run. They're active. They're flying around, playing with a lot of confidence, and they're physical. and they're playing with a lot of emotion. And we're going to have to match that emotion down in Charlottesville this weekend. They play with emotion, and I think that's all a big part of it. You can't measure the emotion they've got.
Is it a lot about Bronco brought?
I think so. I've never been with them. I've never coached with them, but I'm guessing it's something that he's brought to their football team. I think they're taking on that personality. I don't know how emotional Bronco gets. I don't know that part of him. He doesn't jump up and down. He's kind of a laid-back dude in meetings when you get to spend a lot of time with him. He likes to go surfing. He's a good man.
Any additional questions? I'm going to keep up the weekly tradition of asking a question you don't like. You got 3 votes in the coaches poll this week. Did you have a chance to talk to some of your coaching buddies and find out
No.
who voted for you?
No, I don't care.
Was it you?
No, I guarantee you that.
Or I guess EJ?
No, I do it myself. First of all, I do it myself, and those will be all, I guess, they get published later on, right?
Yeah.
So you'll never see that I voted for myself. Guaranteed. 4 and 4.
I know coaches probably don't talk about it at all. You hear kids maybe, hey, we got.
I didn't even. I mean, to be honest with you, the kids didn't say a word. I didn't know. The coaches didn't talk about it. EJ didn't tell me. Thanks, EJ. And I don't. I mean, what does that matter? Well, we got 3 points. Congratulations. What's Alabama got? Like 2,000. Doesn't matter. We're just worried about what we can control as Virginia Friday night. Nice question, Jerry. You got to end like that. Someone give me a good question before we leave here. Jerry's question.
All right, I'll go.
Rob, what do you got?
How much is that dual threat quarterback sort of stress the defense and change what you have to try to do?
Rob changes a bunch. I mean, even last week with Daniel Jones. I mean, him eating away at 5 yards and 10 yards, and the one time where we want to go play the jet sweep and he's rushing for 10, 15. It's defending. It's crazy. The officials did a nice job Saturday, and we're on the sideline. He's like, "Hey, coach, can I?" One of the officials, I won't mention his name, he said, "Coach, can I do anything for you?" I said, "Yeah, you can get me a stop here somewhere." He said, "Coach, nobody plays defense anymore." I looked at him like, "Golly, that's the attitude." But it's hard to play, defend 11 because they got 11, you got 11. You used to like those big, stiff quarterbacks. You used to line up under the center and drop back, and that was all you got. And it's different. It's a different deal. But we can defend it a heck of a lot better than what we did. That's for sure. Thanks, guys.